We welcome Steve Nicol to the show to reflect on this, Stevie. Wow.
You're watching it and you can't believe what you're watching.
No, and then it gets worse.
I mean, you know it's going to be tough. You know, Brentford at home, they're a big, physical, strong side that will get after you. And so you have to be ready for that challenge. And you've got to say, as individuals, not one of them was ready for that challenge. And I think you also have to look at Ten Hag and say, have you really done your homework? You've put out a team, particularly three players. Martinez, who's one of the smallest centre-backs in world football, never mind in the Premier League, you're putting him against two guys in Mbeumo and Ivan Toney who love a battle physically. They love the ball in the air. And then you look at the middle of the park. You've got Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes. And all you've got as a bit of muscle is Fred.
Right.
Okay, and you wonder why you're getting overrun.
You want to say that again? That the bit of muscle?
Well, the bit of muscle is Fred.
Okay.
Right.
And you wonder why you're getting overrun. So you've put a side out that's up against the basics of football. From when the game started, there's always been one rule. You have to win the right to play. And when you've got a team full of footballers, supposedly, the first thing they have to do is win the right. And they couldn't do it. And they didn't do it from the first minute to the last minute. And you end up losing because, yes, you're outplayed, outfought, you name it. And you also make so many individual mistakes, particularly the goalkeeper. So, just an absolute shocker.
And the most clear evidence of a team that is fragile is that when you give up these early goals, there was no sense of Manchester United coming together and rallying around a plan or, hey, look, okay, not a good start of the game, but let's make sure we get a couple of things right so that we build some momentum, so that we build some confidence. None of that. The team does not come together at all. They quickly, and I mean quickly, separated, broke apart, said, Now you start worrying about what you do and your job and your assignments, and you're no longer concerned about the team concept, and that's why you see just guys running around without any sort of plan. That's scary, because that tells me that this is a team that has no belief whatsoever. And if that's the case, how do you get that back when you do not actually understand or believe or think or trust that you're good enough to compete against a team like Brentford?
Let's welcome in, shall we? Jan Fjortoft is with us as well. Jan, how much do we blame Ten Hag? How much do we blame the players for today's performance?
And how much do we blame the club? I think this last week has been Manchester United, as they are in 2022. They more or less lost 4-0 every day in every department. I mean, they're looking for a striker, that Arnautovic, that McClaren had at Twente like for 200 years ago. I mean, so let's put it this way: the club is rotten. I mean, sorry to say. And in all departments, concrete, Old Trafford, hole in the roof, it's terrible stadium. Used to be the best stadium to come to. That's been said. The two last games, I mean, it's unbelievable. And I think that Al said it, play out from the back. I mean, it's unbelievable in the stages of the self-confidence of this team. So the players, you have to start with them. They have this idea. We have no confidence. We don't understand the pattern of the manager. What do? Okay, De Gea, who made a big mistake, tried to play Christian Eriksen the ball on 15 meters. And they scored a 2-0. That is a consequence of a lot of things. On the manager, I think that it's too early, of course, after 2 games. But there are some interesting thing. He put people out of positions. Afterwards, I think he is right to go at the players, because I think sometimes the players are hidden behind owners, managers, and so on. But still, this pre-season means nothing. Pre-season is pre-season. So I think that for Manchester United fans to see what's going on at the club, it's scandalous. It's unbelievable. But I won't say that. And a long prologue now is that I will also big respect to Brentford. Brentford winning 4-0. Manager Frank, fantastic job. Good. You see, like Brighton, you can see how they want to play. And coincidentally, the 2 games with Brighton and Brentford now, he's kind of shown that the pattern of Manchester United they're not to be seen, because Frank and Potter has a great pattern they have managed to give the players.
Surely Ten Hag going to Brentford, and Jan's right, you got to praise Brentford, but again, I'll say it, and I don't wish to disrespect them. You know what you're going to get. So surely if you're Ten Hag, you have some sort of plan where, right, if things are not going quite right, then we have to bunker in, we have to get tight, let's make them go round the outside, everybody just get compact, and then we get ourselves back into the game. There was nothing. And you look at the experience they had on the field, people like De Gea, Maguire, Ronaldo. I mean, and the manager sat on the bench and did absolutely zero.
But it's not his fault that De Gea threw it in, is it?
I'll tell you what's his fault, though. His fault is that when things are not going well, nobody had any sort of idea how to either bunker in or bring everybody together or just do something to
stop the bleeding.
To stop the bleeding, to ride it out, so to speak. Nothing. That's down to the manager. And to sit there and not do anything until half-time is wrong completely as well. So, yes, you have to look at the players. I think the biggest burden definitely is on the players. Because at the end of the day, at the very least, you should have some heart and you should fight. But I tell you what, the manager didn't do too much to help them.
To your point, Stevie, about the fight and of the players, or lack thereof, when you hear the Brentford players talking after the game, they talk about our priority was to work hard. We knew that working hard was going to be good enough for us to beat Manchester United. Working hard, good enough to beat Manchester United. Working hard should be the minimum for any team. And yet, for Brentford, the players knew on the field, in looking at the Manchester United players, that if we just run, if we work hard, if we work together, we're going to be better than any of these guys, because they're not willing to do what we're willing to do. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and to make some facts on that, I saw the stats after the game. Not only did Manchester United lose 4-0, they had less tackles. They ran, Brentford ran a lot more than them. So all these things show that there is no passion, there is nothing in this team. And you just got a feeling that sometimes people are saying that a manager will lose the dressing room. I think Ten Hag hasn't been there long enough to lose it, but he hasn't won the dressing room yet. And when I had a look at this game today, I got a feeling, I've been in the situation as a player, when a player and players, it's like immunity, if that is the right word. It's like they wanted to be bad, because if you see 1 to 11 starting level, great players, you know they are sulky babies. They've been there all last season as well. But what they did at Brentford today, I'm not sure about the English word for it. It's like they went to strike. I think it's shocking to see.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.